Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build video. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much to all of the new subscribers. We are at over 70 at the moment. I'm not sure. I think the last number that I saw just before I jumped on here was 72. So welcome to all of you new people. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you found my channel. I'm glad that you like my content enough to subscribe. Welcome. So glad to have you here. I am extremely grateful for this. I am very hesitant on sharing things that I create and do, because a lot of times I just, I struggle with this whole, this is hard. A lot of times I'm like, I'm not good enough to be up there with the other people. But you know what? I realize I don't have to be up there with anybody. I just have to do the best that I can and stay true to what I want to do and to my build style. And the people who enjoy that, they're going to find me. And I think at least 72 of you found me, and I'm so glad. So getting into the build for today, we're building in the world of Innisgreen, which is the world that came with the expansion pack Enchanted by Nature, and we're on the Boulevard lot, which is a 30 by 60. Yeah, you wish. That would be an odd shape. A 30 by 20, and I believe it's in that left neighborhood. Like, I don't know the names of the neighborhood, but it's like on the left side of the screen, and in that neighborhood, I think it's like the top right lot. It's right there by that a tree, but a massive tree that you can kind of see in the background every once in a while. And this house has one bath, one bed and one full bath, but it also has a teeny tiny 2x1 room on the first floor, which is just a toilet. And I love that thing so much. I love a good powder room. You'll see when we get there. But at the moment, I'm still fighting with the rounded walls. I cannot stand them. They don't do what I want them to do, which is frustrating and extremely annoying. And I still figured it out. Yay me. But yeah, like it's hard. But so as it is October, I wanted to add another pause. Last week, not true, 2 weeks ago, 1st of October, I have uploaded a vampire build. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to put a card on screen so you can look it up. And in honor of October, I wanted to add something else spooky. Now, this is not spooky. It's just a dark house. But it's actually really beautiful, I think, because the fairy that I had envisioned living here is a dark fairy, but her favorite color is pink. So it's a really cutesy house. It's really not spooky, but I kind of felt like it still fit that vibe of October and kind of spooky. I do have some more ideas, and I do there is a few more builds coming for the month of October. Hopefully, if you have watched any of my other videos, then you know that my family and I are currently moving. We should have been done by now, but there was a delay, and it then got even further delayed because of Columbus Day on Monday. So at this point, we were supposed to be already be in our new house, but we're not. And so my schedule has shifted a lot. My kids were on fall break for the week that we were supposed to move, and it would have worked great. And now they're going to be in school, and we're going to have to bring them to school, then go to the first signing to sell our house, then pick them up in school, and then go to the next signing. And we do not live in the city, but where we need to go is in the city. So I have to drive that same way twice. And it's like, I'm going to be in the car for like 3 hours the day that we're closing, and then we're closing really late. And so my kids have school the next day, and I feel like that's not going to be fun, but that's how it is. And I'm sure there's a reason for it. And I'm just going to be grateful that at the end of the day on Tuesday, we'll still have a new house. And I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so the schedule that I had for creating builds and uploading has changed a little bit because Obviously, even if I have the recording, then I still have to edit it, and I have to do a voiceover, and all that stuff takes time. And if you're in the middle of moving and you have kids and you have a husband and you're just in charge of a whole family and you just have a lot to do, then it is a bit tricky, but I'm doing my best. And I did record something else today that is going to be very, very short. I mean, this video that I'm currently doing the voiceover for is only, I think, 30 minutes. So, by the way, if you just saw that, I'm going to leave it in because at this point I don't feel like going back in and editing something else. A lot of times when I build, I will check and see what the picture on the gallery is going to look like and if it actually is in the frame, because a lot of the time the angle that they choose is terrible. For that I'm going to say thumbnail for the gallery is absolutely terrible sometimes, and sometimes like half the lot is not on there. And so yeah, sometimes I just said sometimes so much. Do you want me to say it again? So a lot of times, almost did it again, I will go and check that. So I'm just gonna leave that in there. It is late. It is past 9 o'clock already, and I've been on my feet and moving and packing. Would you believe that we still have stuff to pack? Granted, we have been extremely lazy over the weekend because we had like a whole another week. But there's still stuff to pack, and I really thought that I was very organized and prepared, but there's still stuff, and everything else is in the storage unit. Storage unit is completely packed. I mean, it's full. Like, we stacked and played Tetris in there, and it's just like, I have chairs from our dining table. I have them balanced on like bags full of like clothes and pillows, and we just started throwing stuff in the back so that we could still store. I hate moving so much, and we've done it. I've done my whole life. When I was a kid, my family and I, we moved a lot. My husband's family and them, they moved a lot. And then ever since my husband and I got married almost 10 years ago in November, we have moved a ton. I couldn't even count it, honestly. It's been over 10 times that we've moved. Part of that reason is that we both came from overseas after we got married. And anyways, I'm rambling. Have I mentioned that this fairy is a dark fairy? And I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm assuming something like Maleficent. I am not very educated when it comes to the occult, but my thought was she's just a dark fairy. She's not a bad fairy or evil fairy, at least to me. She might be to you if you do decide to download this build from the gallery. My gallery ID is VinnasNook, by the way, VinnasNook. If your fairy is a dark fairy and she loves pink and she really is mean and evil, have at it, girl. Or I don't know. Why is it girl? Have at it, whoever you are and whatever you want to do. I'm so glad if you like my builds enough to download them, not just watch the video. Although I am very glad for that. I just, my brain's broken. Anyways, so the build itself was a little bit small, and I was looking at this, the yard area and space, and I thought, you know what, might as well add a little bit of a pond. I actually, now that I think about it, I feel like part of the Enchanted, what's it called? That natural living skill, is that what it's called? Man, I just remembered that. I think you can take a bath in a pond. I thought I thoroughly play tested this build, but I actually did not try that out. But I can. I just don't know if I will try that out before I upload this video. But anyways, everything else has been play tested. There were a few issues that I'll talk about. One of them being that I have forgotten to add a mailbox, which I forget every single time. I'm not even kidding. But there's now a mailbox, and the house is fully functional. There is a few things that you can do as in skill building, but it's not like overly packed. I know that especially with the community lots that I've been recently building, I have try to put a lot of activities in there. With this one, I think there's gardening, there is the crystal, whatever it's called, skill, and then there was one more thing, but I don't think that's a skill. No, that's not a skill. That's just an activity. You can dress up. I put that dress up suitcase trunk thing in there. But yeah, so here I decided to add a greenhouse, and I tried again to use those glass wallpapers. Those are just really hard for me. Look, when I look at that, and so I added those pillars on the side, right? Because there's no way for me that this is going to be able to stand or hold a roof for that matter. They're flimsy. And you know what else bothers me? That they are not... There is like 4 different colors, but to me there's no difference in the colors. And now, yeah, I'm fully aware that I have a reshade on my game. It makes no difference. I've tried it out without the reshade. There is no actual difference between the colors of those different swatches. They all look the same. And I would love to have give us a silver one. Sure, give us a silver one, a white one, like an actual white one, and an actual black one, instead of like 4 different shades of silver, and then they're flimsy. Anyways, I'm sorry. That's frustrating. So I covered this whole thing in those hanging plants, which I actually love those, and I feel like that made it better, because that way you I was able to hide the things that really bother me. I am so much of I'm building a fairy house, and I'm about to say that I want stuff to be realistic in the game. Haha. But I do. There are so many times that I build something and then I'm like, that doesn't work. That's not realistic. That would never work. You can't build it like that. And sometimes I try and stick with it and just kind of trust the process. And sometimes I rip everything down because it's not logical to me to have something. And I don't really have an example for that right now, but it happens a lot. Yeah. Have I continued telling you about... Did I tell you what this lot costs? I might have, and I might not have. This is the second time that I'm taking the voiceover because I accidentally clicked on delete, and I'm not too good with tech stuff. So I don't know if there would have been a way to get that recording back, or I'm assuming it would be in that recycling bin potentially, but here I am. I'm just now realizing that, and I have already started doing another voiceover. So hey, welcome to my channel. This is how it is. This is real life, and sometimes it's just, cringy, and sometimes it's just very unorganized and not at all perfect. And if you're if you're looking for somebody who just mess up their voiceovers and tells you the same stuff 5 times, then maybe this is not the right channel. But if it is, then I'm so glad you're here, and I really, really hope you're having a good time. But coming back to the price of the lot, it's 65,969 simoleons. And I personally built it for 1 sim, but you can absolutely have 2 sims in here. You could even have a kid. There's not like 2 different or 2 separate bedrooms, but there's room that you could add a kid, and you could turn, like, there's an upstairs landing area, and you could absolutely turn that into another bedroom if you wanted to. I just didn't do it. But in the greenhouse, there's a few things that I had to change after I came into playtest, because there was like those plants that I had added around the outside. I had to shift some of them, the ones in front of the build, or in the front of the build, above the door. I had to push them up just a tiny bit because they couldn't go into the greenhouse. Now they can, but I had to move that up. I don't think it's a massive difference. And then I think I had to change those round planters. I might have deleted one because they didn't fit. Maybe it's still in there. I'm not sure, but you'll see it in the screenshots. Oh, and then, so this is a question. There's this chest in the greenhouse that you can actually store stuff in, right? So when I came into playtest, I actually did pre-plant a little bit of stuff in some of the planters. Not all of them, and you're welcome to rip it out if you don't want it there, of course. But I did want to try it out and wanted to make sure it works. And so the leftover vegetables and fruits and whatnot that I had, I put in that chest. So I would be curious to know if that would transfer to the gallery. If you do download this house, then please let me know. Or if you do know because you have downloaded something with a chest like that before, let me know in the comments down below, okay? Because then I know that for the next time that it's either a waste of time that I put that in there or if it works. But yes, I did leave, sometimes I take the footage out of me trying to figure out the floor plan, but it wasn't too bad in this one. But there is that little teeny tiny corner just by the end of the staircase there, and I figured that would be a perfect place to put a toilet. And there's no sink in there, but it's a little teeny tiny toilet, and I actually love that room so much. I love a good powder room, and I think it turned out really cute. But so the whole house is just pretty much black. I mean, there's like some dark wooden tones, but other than that, it's pretty much black. And then I just added all of those. There is a mosquito here. Oh, I hate them. It just flew right in my face and now I can't see it. This is gonna bother me. Okay, I'm on a mosquito hunt here while I'm doing this voiceover. I'm so sorry. Real life. But yeah. So everything is pretty much black, and then I have added pink accents. And sometimes it's not like pink, but more like a peachy color. But to me, that's still like in the pinkish family. Okay, so that's what I did here. I think I gave this fairy a crow because I was thinking of Maleficent. If you haven't seen Maleficent, and I'm not talking about the original Maleficent with the green eyes or whatever her eye color was, I am talking about the Angelina Jolie Maleficent. That's who I'm talking about, because when I watched that movie, I was like, well, of course she is upset, and of course she is kind of mean because she was treated horribly. She has every reason to be like that. Not that everybody should be like that, but I get it. She was treated horribly by the person she loved the most. Well, then of course you're going to be maybe affected by that, and maybe you know what I'm saying. If you haven't seen the movie, I feel like October is the perfect time to watch that movie, and I'll probably rewatch it soon. Anyways, so I added a crow because I was thinking of Maleficent, and so she has a crow. And so when I came into playtest, I lit the rug on fire. I didn't mean to, but I was trying out the fireplace, and it just came right out. And I don't know if it's just, which would be a problem, but I know for a fact that I've tried. What I'm trying to say, rewind. What I'm trying to say, I don't know if it was just a problem of the rug being too close to the fireplace, or if it was just, bad luck, or if it was my sim. But I have had fireplaces before. I had rugs in front of fireplaces before, and they did not light on fire immediately. But this literally, like, she lit the fireplace and everything went up in flames. And then the things that I could replace, I did, and the rug disappeared. And so I had to go back and watch the footage to find out what rug I was using to begin with, because I couldn't remember. But yeah, so there's a clock in here. There's that weird record player that is like has this weird red fog coming out, which still bothers me. I really like that thing, and I really love using, like, I've used it so many times already since that kit came out. Talking about that, what is it called? The Bella Goth kit. That's not what it's called, but that's all I know. Something Glamorous Sanctuary or something like that. Anyways, I love that thing so much. However, when you turn it on and that red smoke comes out, that I don't love. And I don't think there's anything you can do about it. But moving on into the kitchen, So I don't know if a fairy needs a kitchen. I thought it was neat. Here's the thing. Whenever I use this kitchen, I love those kitchen counters. But whenever I use them, I forget that there is a sink that comes with it, but that is in the plumbing section of the catalog, because it's a built-in farmhouse sink, right? And it comes with the counter to it. And that is something that really bothers me. I feel like if the kitchens come with a corresponding sink, then the sink, yes, should be in the plumbing section, but it should also be in the counter section. Would you agree? Because I always forget that. And there's multiple kitchen counters that have a sink that goes with it, and I always forget that they exist. Which, it's not a big deal. The sink that I used in this kitchen is actually the one from the Home Chef Hustle? Yes, Home Chef Hustle. So another question for you. Does that thing function like a countertop? Or is that a glitch that I have in my game? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but I thought I would ask because I had her I play tested and I had her cook, and she used a cutting board and she put it on the sink, like just right in there, and she chopped her vegetables in the sink. And then I had her bake something, because I always try out baking and cooking, because sometimes for some reason I've had the issue that only one would work, like they could cook but they couldn't bake, or they could bake and they couldn't cook. So I always try out both. And so then when I had her baking, she put the bowl with whatever dough she was mixing on top of the sink. So I don't know if that's a glitch or if that sink was actually made like that and it works like a countertop. If that's the case, it opens a lot of doors and I can make much smaller kitchens and I can use a lot more clutter. And then I just use that sink and I don't have a problem with cluttering up the kitchen counters. So yeah, that would be great. But anyways, the coffee table in front of the fireplace is also a little bit shifted in the screenshots because she couldn't get to the couch, I think. But she couldn't get to something. Like this build, I built this when the Enchanted by Nature came out, like the day after or the day of. And the video has since been sitting on my to-do list, and I am now coming in months later and doing a voiceover for that, so I don't remember everything. But I did do the playtesting just recently, so I guess that is not an excuse. But I also don't know why a fairy would have coins laying around in her entryway, but she does. And maybe she is just, maybe she's just like the vampires that I built for not too long ago. And she just kind of is trying to keep up appearances and just not, she just wants to seem more human. And maybe she doesn't fly around outside. I don't know. I don't know what she does. But yes, we're going and moving on to that little powder. Well, it's not even a full powder room. It's like there's a full bath, a half bath, which means it's, okay, well now I'm confused right now. I just confused myself. Is a half bath? A half bath is just a shower, a toilet, and a sink, I believe. No, that's a full bath. Okay, so a half bath is a powder room. Well, this is a quarter bath then. Or a third bath. A third of a bath. There's no sink in there, but you can wash your hands in a kitchen sink, and I just thought it looked so cute. Like, it's tiny, but it's an adorable room. And upstairs, there's, like I said, there's a bedroom, and then there is this landing area, and you can absolutely turn that into a bedroom, or a kid's room, a nursery, or something else. But if you wanted to add a wall in there, you absolutely could do that. There's definitely enough space. I just didn't think that I needed to, because I looked over into this like tower, and all of a sudden I was thinking of what's it called? Genie in a Bottle. Genie in a Bottle rooms? I don't know if that's the thing, but like in the 90s, that's what I wanted. I wanted a Genie in the Bottle room. And I'm pretty sure that my mom wanted one as well. So yeah, we wanted Genie in the Bottle rooms. And so that this rounded wall, and then I thought about curtains and stuff, and then it felt very, very cozy. And so I decided to put the bed in there. It all works perfectly fine. You can walk around the bed, you can get into the bed from both sides. Everything works just fine. And to make it, so I was looking through the beds and I was looking for pink and black, and there was not a combination that I really liked. And then I thought, well, if I added throw pillows, and I'm fully aware that they are not pink. That is what I was talking about earlier, like the peachy kind of color. And I thought it still worked really well because the pink was just too bubblegummy. It wasn't the pink that I was looking for. And up here, this vibe was more what I was going for. But yes, so everything works. Everything is perfectly fine. And I did change out the curtains a little bit because they were clipping in the wall just a tad too much to me. And so I did replace those. I don't know for a fact that there is a closet in there. There is at least a side table out there in that like landing area, but I'm not sure if it actually was a closet. But it doesn't matter. You can change by clicking just on your sim, and you can also change by looking into a mirror. And there's plenty of mirrors in the room or in the house. So yes. But this bed, by the way, I really, really like this bed, and I'm currently trying to remember what pack it came with. And was it the love bug? Bug. Not Love Island or Highland, what they call it. I think that's what they call it in The Sims, right? I think they call it Love Highland, but I'm not sure. I might just be making this up now. But yeah, I don't remember what that bit comes from, but I really, really like it. I did have to shift around. This trunk, by the way, fully functional, works great. Turns her into a great... Why is the panda green? I had her just try on some outfit just to try out what it was. It is not a closet, by the way. It's just a table. So much to talk about. Why is it a green panda? Is that a lore situation? I'm not sure. But yes, so fully functional. I did move the rocking chair in the corner, and then I had to pull it back out of the corner because she couldn't rock or she couldn't sit. And it was really funny. You know how usually when a sim can't do something and they just throw their hands in the air and they have that like X in that bubble? She didn't do that. She just sat down on the couch, and I was like, no, go over here, sit in the chair. And she sat down in the couch. And do you think I understood what was going on? I was like, no. And then I thought, well, something's glitchy here. She's not, maybe what happened? I was so confused. And then I moved the rocking chair around, and then she finally sat down, and I was like, oh, it was too close to the wall. Then why didn't you throw your hands in here? I would have known. But I just thought she wasn't doing what I was telling her to do. Here I added this, that charging thing, but I have heard that some people have mentioned that you have to put it somewhere inside, not inside, but like fenced in, because other Sims will steal it. And yeah, so you might want to change that. In this bathroom, that tile came in so handy because there's a roof right behind that wall, and when you have a roof right behind the wall, then the wall will have the color of the roof wall. Like the outside wall will then be inside, which bothers the living everything's out of me, but it is how it is. But actually this bathroom, I left it in. I talked about it last time that when a bathroom is really boring, I will cut it out, but I did leave this bathroom in because I actually really like it. I feel like it's very different, and usually I've never tried out this arrangement of furniture, but it worked just fine. Again, everything is functional, but I really, really love this bathroom. I thought it turned out really great, and it looked very fun and cozy and just different. So I left it in. But that's it for today. I'm going to go around and finish this up. I hope you like my builds. If you do enjoy the videos, then please leave a like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them down below as well. You can find my builds on the gallery under the gallery ID VinnasNook, VinnasNook, or you can find this build under the hashtag VinnasNook or under the hashtag darkfairyhome, and all of that info is always in the description underneath. I hope you enjoy the screenshots and the rest of this video, and I'll see you next time in the Nook. Bye guys.